Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the University of Virginia. The class is Presentation Strategies for Entrepreneurs. What I'm going to be showing my students here is how to make a presentation to a venture capital firm, to a private equity firm, to a hedge fund. And we've been studying now for the last 15 weeks on how to do this. And I'm going to show you an actual presentation that I did with one of my companies when I first started, called Credit Justice Services. So here we go. I'd like to thank the board of directors for being here today and giving me the opportunity to speak to you. Credit Justice Services is a company that I started. My name is Muir. I'm the CEO and founder. The problem we have here is that the United States Public Interest Research Group, try to say that 10 times fast, did a study in 2004. What they found out was astonishing. They found out that 79% of all credit reports are inaccurate. That means 8 out of 10 people sitting in this room right now have something wrong with their credit report. I got good news. I'm here to help you out. We also found out that 1 out of 4 credit reports are so inaccurate that people like you sitting in this room were turned down for credit. Why would the Federal Trade Commission allow something of this magnitude to happen in the United States? That's a great question. Let's do the math. Being an aerospace engineer by education, I'm pretty good at this math thing. This is a credit report that we have on the left-hand side that we just said 79% are inaccurate. There's 209 million credit files in the United States today. If 79% of these are inaccurate, that leaves 165,110,000 inaccurate credit reports in the United States. That's just wrong. I ask you again, why is this happening right now? Why are we allowing this to happen to Americans? The cost to America is phenomenal. $225,238 is the average American debt in the household in the United States. That includes mortgages, that includes a whole bunch of stuff, credit cards, so forth and so on. What happens when you have a bad or a negative trade line on your credit report that's not supposed to be there? Does your credit score go up or does it go down? Your credit score goes down. What happens to your interest rate? Your interest rate goes up. So let's just say that it goes up 5%, which is very conservative. It normally is going up between 10 and 12.5%. That's $11,261 a year in extra payments. Let's just think about that. In extra payments. If there's 165,110,000 inaccurate credit reports out there, times by the extra money, it's a $1.9 trillion a year scam. And I'm going to tell you it's a scam. Why is this a scam? Who would benefit from this? Let's think about that. The banks. The thing that blew me away when I started doing my research is that your car insurance is based on your credit report. Why car insurance? Think about that. When I studied 2 of the biggest insurance companies, they never gave me an answer. It was actually a lawsuit that came out, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. Why are car insurance companies doing this? Just think about the extra money that they can make, because if there's 165 million inaccurate credit reports, think about the car insurance premiums that are going out. So what's on your credit report? The 2 biggest things that we're looking at right now are payment histories and the amount you owe. Payment history means, how are you paying? Are you paying late? Are you paying on time? How much do you owe? If you have a $1,000 credit card, did you know, if you have a limit of $1,000 and you get up to $1,000, you're going to lose 50 points on your credit report just like that. Imagine having 2, 3, 4 credit cards that are maxed out. In today's economy, that's all there is, are maxed out credit cards. People were living on their credit cards. That is 65% of your score. So by just having those 2 alone, could really hurt your credit score. Third thing is the length of the credit history. I love when people say, just close your credit cards. Just close the accounts you don't use. Are you kidding me? Don't close them. Let's say you have a 20-year credit card and you close it. You're going to lose 15% of your score. Pay it down to 0, but don't close it. How about new credit? What types of new credit do you have? And I love those credit cards. As I'm walking through the US Airways terminal, the Delta terminal, and everyone's like, here, sign up. We're going to give you 10 quadrillion miles. Do you know how much damage that does to your credit report? We'll talk about that in the question and answer. So we need to move on to the solution. I'm here. Credit Justice Services is here. We are one of 3,478 credit repair companies in the United States. Wait till you see the differential of me to that, and it is to that. This is a credit repair good faith estimate that I have invented over the last 2 years. We're the only ones that have this. We're trademark and intellectual property protected. It's broken up into 3 groups. The first group is an analytics that I've invented that will tell you the percentage chances of removal of each negative trade line. Nobody has that. This was actually looked at by the Federal Trade Commission, and when they came in and studied me for 2 weeks, they allowed me to use this. The second thing is what your payments are going to be. Every other credit repair company in the United States charges you monthly, which behooves bad behavior. Think about this. If I'm charging you monthly, I'm going to make sure I extend that out. Not with Credit Justice Services. We do it in 90 days. You're in or you're out. We have 4 different types of payments to make this affordable for the consumer. And the third and the final thing that we do on this credit repair good faith estimate is we tell the consumer what they need to do to increase their credit scores immediately. This is the secret sauce. This is the 90-day credit makeover that took me over a year to invent. The back of this, as you all have signed non-disclosures to look at, is amazing. And we're going to go into this in detail. But this is the 90-day process that's going to revolutionize the credit repair industry. Also, I've come up with 110 different types of letters. The average credit repair company has 15. I have 110. So I'm using a scalpel while they use an axe. What's my business model? How am I going to create value for you, my possible investors, and to the client? Let's look at this. I have a thing called a two-sided market. The first market is the freemium market. I'm going to go through mortgage brokers, realtors, and bankruptcy attorneys. And I'll get into detail while I'm using them. The second market is the end user. It's the person who's going to pay. And let me tell you why I chose realtors, mortgage brokers, and bankruptcy attorneys. The first thing a bankruptcy, when I interviewed 250 attorneys around the United States, said is that the question to them was, what's going to happen to my credit? That's the first question. First question. Mortgage brokers. As I'm sitting there in front of a mortgage broker with the tightening of the market since 2008, and this mortgage broker looks at me and he says, I cannot, Mr. Muir, give you a loan. That's a pain point. That's a tough pain point. But can you imagine if that mortgage broker says, I'm a certified credit consultant with Credit Justice Services, and I can help you, and within 90 days you can get a loan. Same thing with realtors. They're losing about 50% of the market. So now we take these people who have been turned down, rejected, we put them through the 90-day credit makeover, and then they get approved. And from there, they go right back and they got this cycle of business again. We're going to increase their income by 20%. Let me show you the magic sauce. Day one, they come to us and we do a credit repair good faith estimate. So we know their credit report and what's wrong with it. We then send out dispute letters to all the 3 credit bureaus for each negative trade line. And we say, show me this is mine, period. We don't say it's not mine, we say prove it. Of course, we gotta give them 30 days under the law. And they're gonna respond. And normally the response is one of 27 canned letters. And a lot of times it's like, we need more information. Why do you think they do that? They do it because they want to extend the process. They do it so that they don't have to answer us right away. So what do? We send out a second round of letters. But look at the difference of what we do. We are the only company in the United States that besides going back to the credit bureau and say, oh, I noticed that you need more information, here's more information. We take that letter, and under the new law called Fact Act 312, we go directly to the creditor who put the bad credit on the credit report in the first place. No other company does that. We're the only one that's approved to do that. So we have a higher deletion ratio than all my competition. Because guess what the original creditors don't have? They don't have the contracts, the signature, the information required by federal and state law. So when we send them that letter, we have to wait 30 days, and they reply, do you know that the collection agencies don't even respond most of the time? And the credit bureaus will just send us something back again, delaying the process or deleting it. So what we do is we send a third letter back to the credit bureau saying, Mr. Credit Bureau, please see all the federal and state laws that you have broken. Also, by the way, we went and we asked for this information from the creditor under the 312 Act, and no one ever responded. Under these laws, you have 30 days to remove it. They respond back, normally delete it. And if they don't, we send a letter and go to litigation. We're the only company in the United States that has a plethora of attorneys in 47 states where we do business that will sue collection agencies and the credit bureaus. That gives us the finale. This process has increased deletion ratios by over 20% in the United States. How big is this? How big is this market? We all want to know this as investors, don't we? If there's 209 million credit files in the United States, 79% of them are inaccurate. That's 165,110,000 inaccurate files. My target market is the 1 out of 4 that are being turned down, just like you. Those Americans that are sitting in front of mortgage brokers, realtors, bankruptcy attorneys, anywhere else that they need to get credit. That's 41,277,000 potential clients. How am I going to acquire these people? What I like to use is a method called the Get, Keep, and Grow. So how am I going to get them? First thing is going to be through direct sales. I have 5 initial salespeople on the ground right now where we're starting in Sarasota, Florida. Just Sarasota, Florida. Then we're going to go around Florida, Southeast, Northeast, United States. That is my timeline that I'm going to be working. From there, I'm going to go to the biggest association event called the Mortgage Brokers Association in Atlantic City, which comes on next month. It's the biggest mortgage broker event. I'm the only credit bureau company there. And I'm going to recruit every mortgage broker there to sell for me, as you will see in my sales. And then I'm going to do public relations, TV, radio, ads, do all my own public relations. 60 Minutes has already destroyed the 3 credit bureaus. It was wonderful showing them how just dirty and illegal they are. So how are we going to keep them? We're going to do contests and events, both with the mortgage brokers, realtors, and bankruptcy attorneys on how much they sell, and our clientele. We're going to do weekly educational webinars and blogs. I'm already writing blogs. I got over 57 of them. All I got to do is just start pushing them out. And the next thing we want to do is email blasts, because we're getting so much email information on our website at creditjusticeservices.com that we get that information and we blast out weekly information, including blogs. How am I going to grow? I'm going to give 20% referral. Who better to sell my product than a past client and a happy client? And I'll give them 20%. The average file, as you see, is $750. That's $150 just for introducing me to a friend. The next thing we're going to do is cross-sell. We're going to do litigation, which is also another revenue line item, and debt consolidation. These are 2 companies we're going to start in year 2, as you will be able to see by the numbers. This is how the market's going to go. It's going to start off with mortgage brokers and realtors. Mortgage brokers and realtors are now turning down 50% of their clients because of the new restrictions from the 2008. Turning down and then getting back 20% of them is a huge market for them with little amount of work. They're going to increase their income without increasing their workload. And bankruptcy attorneys, check out this cycle we're keeping in. First thing they do is they go through bankruptcy. First question they've asked from 250 bankruptcy attorneys, they said, what's going to happen to my credit? Second thing they do is they say, well, we have an in-house credit repair expert, so we're going to take care of you after that bankruptcy. And the third thing is lawsuits. They're going to make money with lawsuits. There's a company in California that did 10,000 lawsuits against collection agencies. They collected on 68% of those without any court at $2,600 on an average. Think about the amount of money that these attorneys can make. $1,500 for the bankruptcy, $1,500 for the credit repair, and $2,600 for the lawsuit. This is how we're going to market credit justice services. How we're going to sell it? The mortgage brokers and realtors and the bankruptcy attorneys are sitting there with my clients in front of them with a pain point. A pain point. That's the kind of product and service you want, is when you're at the pain point. So think about this. What we're going to do is I'm going to do a 2-level tier. I interviewed over 585 mortgage brokers around the company. And the first thing they asked me is, can I make money with this? I said, sure you can. Totally legal. They said, well, what happens if I turn on Susie or Joey, who are 2 desks away from me that are mortgage brokers? Can I make money off them? And I started thinking. I said, why not? The first thing I had to make sure was that I was not a multi-level marketing company. Why? Because I'm going to change the laws in Washington in year 3. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to start negotiating with Congress and Senate, and I'm going to really do a full court press on changing laws. So I had to stay out of the multi-level marketing. Not that I'm against it, it's just something that I didn't want to do. So as you can tell here, I'm 2 levels deep. These people will make 40% off of each file they give me. What does that say? Marketing dollars. I don't have to market people. It's right in front of them. The client is right in front of them. Let's use the mortgage broker real quick as an example. There I am sitting in front of him. He just says, Mr. Muir, I cannot give you a house. I cannot give you a loan. But I'm a certified credit consultant with Credit Justice Services. And I can give you that house and that loan in 90 days. Is that something you're interested in? Who would say no? Think about that. Then, if the certified credit consultant likes what we're doing, they could come in and become an account executive and make more money. If you don't want to do anything, you just want to hand me over clients, I'll take them. 10%. I'll pay you 10% all day on referral because I'm saving lots of money when it comes to advertising. What's the competition? 3,478. What happened? The barrier of entry went down. Mortgage brokers are going out of the business in the thousands. And so they're like, I can read a credit report. Why don't I just become a credit repairer? And then all of a sudden they get knocked with all these laws. They don't go by the Credit Repair Organization Act. They're breaking the laws everywhere, giving us a bad name. And that's why I started the National Association of Credit Service Organizations. And I'm a part of that. Okay? So what's the difference between that? Transparency. My company is the only company that gives the consumer the letters to sign and send out. Why is that so good? Because it keeps them involved. Teach someone how to fish, and we'll eat forever. Also, there's a law out there. And the law states this. If a third party assists the consumer in helping them to dispute a negative trigger on a credit report, the 3 credit bureaus, believe it or not, can send back a letter saying they don't want to verify this. They don't even have to look into it at all. With my letters, they can't do that because the consumer reads it and signs it. I'm the only one at 3,478 does that. The next thing is speed. The average competition is for a year. They keep you in this program for a year. Why? Because you're making money every month off you. I do it in 90 days and you're out. I'm the only one that's FACTAC 312 approved, and I got an A rating from the Better Business Journal. There's 5 of us out of 3,478. I'm now at an A+, actually. So what are my milestones? I have a customer segment. I've studied this for over a year. I finished up in October. The next thing was completing the letter series. It's completed. My software development will be in the beta series, almost into the final series because we're testing it right now by March 1st. The road shows that I'm going on, and I'm just going to leave for a year, and I'm going to travel the country, and I'm going to go to every mortgage brokers and realtors and bankruptcy attorney association for 1 full year, every week. We already got it set up. And then we're going to start processing files in June. These are the projections. Quarter 1. First thing we want to look at is credit repair. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to focus like a laser. Credit repair. From credit repair, we're going to do 288 files at an average of $750 a file. That gives us a direct cost of 53%. This is for administration, the people who are working the files. One paralegal at my office could work 1,147 files a month. That's how high-tech my system is.